Be more grind, rise, shine through the struggle. Black dollar circulate, flexing muscle. Politics and biz building walls like bricks. Motown soul rap mixed in the fix. Tiny cover spitting truth, microphone holder. Past the noise scene, watch growth in the folder. Black beers, bright spotlight in the dark. Hustling hard, lighting sparks in the park. Beam on new, we'll be breaking glass ceilings. All black every day, income healing. Doni Glover, flip the script, let's go. Black Wall Street, roadmap, be more flow. Real talk, stock rise, dreams ain't looking hollow. Blueprints, handshakes, enemies wallow. Baltimore kings, queens, crown on the throne. Legacy built, stone by stone. Headlines, deadlines, moves in the background. Politics, money clips, elevate the town. Black beard strategists, wealth can't be missed. Twist the plot, make the whole world twist. Beam on news, success we inhaling. Victories, IRS, no detailing. Doni Glover, rise to shine, let's glow. Focused on
GDP is $23 trillion. 23.
Be more grind, rise, shine through the struggle. Black dollar circulate, flexing muscle. Politics and biz building walls like bricks. Spitting truth, microphone holder. Past the noise scene, watch growth in the...
First name's Doni, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. Okay, so today we're talking, this is our fourth show, and we've been talking about the formerly incarcerated. Delmont Player, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, big brother.
How are you today?
How you doing? I'm great. I'm blessed. Happy to be present, as always.
Good, good. We started this show 4 weeks ago talking about mass incarceration in America. As you know, America has 25% of the incarcerated persons on the planet. 1 in 4 people incarcerated are in the United States. On planet Earth, nearly 40% of that number is black men. And black women are the fastest growing demographic.
Absolutely.
What do you say about that?
I mean, I say it really, for me, for real, I feel like it's really all by design. For the most part, I mean, if you go so far back, it's like slavery. It's like certain things constantly and continuing to perpetuate themselves. You know, so when you think about, you know, the target at one time, the demographic, the target was the black male. But being that the black male has virtually, in some sense, in a lot of cases, has been almost dismantled, you know, to the point to where it is now, we really just essentially just kill ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and the woman being the successor, you feel what I'm saying? Like she's the one that's now is the biggest breadwinner. She's the one that now that and constantly encourages the man to keep the man alive, even so far as going to the point to where it is, you know, keeping us alive far as, you know, through the womb of a woman. So now it's only right, it's only by target that you would go after the woman. You know what I'm saying? So now that's why the incarceration of women has begun to pick up, because they feel like they done dealt with the black man. So now it's only right that it's time to deal with the black woman.
We've also been joined by Marco. Good morning, Marco. How are you?
Good morning. Brother. Hey, I'm at work, right? So I'm gonna be like in and out for real, because they gonna be coming at the office talking to me. So I'm hitting and missing, all right?
Okay, so what's the word? What are your thoughts on mass incarceration? And we're being joined online by Sean Gardner and also Mr. Renny Bass.
My thoughts on that, man. They just make it hard for us. Period. Just hearing a little bit what Delmont was saying, as far as how they take us away, and it leads to the women have to be out here as the breadwinners, has to take care of everything. So unfortunately, they got to get attacked as well, because they don't want us to succeed in no shape, form, or fashion. And even when the system's so messed up, because when they wrong, they don't want to correct they wrong, so they put their foot on our necks, no matter what. And I say that because of my situation that I went through, that I fought so hard to get out. When them peoples know that they was wrong, and it was just a prime example. And it been through my family. I had an uncle that did 39 years, for something he didn't do, and like I said, even when they know they wrong, they don't want to correct they wrong, because I mean it's designed for us to just stay down. But as long as we continue to take the opportunity that we given to try to educate those that we come in contact with, to stay woke and try to make the best decisions to remove ourselves from them situations. I believe that a change can happen, but it's going to take hard work and dedication, though, daily. Um,
On the line, we have with us Sean Gardner. Good morning, Mr. Gardner.
Good morning, man. How y'all doing this morning?
Fantastic.
Good. We got Marco on the line, Delmar player, and also Mr. Renny Bass. Sean Gardner, they say by the age of 8, by the third grade, they know which way we are going. They're either going to build schools or build prisons. Your thoughts?
Either they're going to build schools or they're going to build prisons.
By the age of 8, they can tell if a person is going right or left.
Oh, okay. I mean, I would say that's hard. I say that would be hard at 8 years old. I would say 10. I would say more 10, 11, 12. But, yeah, that's hard. But I guess it's just what they see. It's like what the youth see. So, yeah, I'll tell you my thought on that. Yeah, because if you see how wild the streets is at 8 years old, of course you're going to mimic it. You're going to do things. It's like if you see things on TV, you're going to mimic it. So if the parents or whoever they're around is just blatantly have it in front of the kids, I mean, they're going to share the same fate.
Well, what I'm saying is they can tell by a child's academic progress. They make a determination by 8 years old. And you think about it, this country isn't new at categorizing black people.
So, can I touch that?
Come on,
Dan?
Mr. Player.
So I think Sean really, because of the phone system and how it is, sometimes it kind of breaks the phone up. But I would like to say I kind of agree with that to a major degree. I also feel like the reason why they can tell like the trajectory of where we going is because we have been placed in circumstance and conditions that's conducive to that personal destruction. So yeah, if you put me in a situation where, we always trying to put into a kid, what we believe education, and then when we do have like a gift, or they'll say we academically challenged because we're not living up to a certain standard that people believe to be set. They'll say that we hyperactive. They'll medicate us, and a lot of times our parents, they don't know no different. So if the doctors say this is what it is, they'll feed us, even though our doctors are dying early than us. They'll say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get he hyperactive. When they haven't, our family and our people haven't learned how to channel that energy, because I think energy is good. It just needs to be channeled. And I think a lot of times what happens with us as a society, because we don't know, we just go with the flow and whatever somebody tell us. So I was hyper, my father was hyper, my brother was hyper, everybody got medicated. And in the long run, it does a disservice, and it continues to perpetuate down the chain. Now my grandbaby, now my great niece, now my daughter, now my son, all them getting medicated because I was medicated. So they'll say it's gene instead of bad living. It's like diabetes. You'll hear people say, oh, you know what, diabetes running our family. No, bad habits, bad eating habits running our family. Right. So I think a lot of times the reason why they can predict that to a major degree is because we are not watching our own children. So by the time our children now are 5 and 6 years old, they know how to navigate the internet better than I do. Right. So when they seeing all this different kind of, because see, we play on the internet for the wrong reasons. Right. Our counterpart, they play on the internet for some of the right reason. We play for the wrong reason. You know, we want to keep it with the Joneses. We want to look slick. We want to disrespect ourselves.
We want to do
disrespect our
boots
women.
on the ground.
Right.
We want the latest line down.
Absolutely. And that's why we losing. So I believe that to a major degree. And that's why they building more prisons and shutting down more schools. Every year we got to fight for our schools.
Mr. Renny Bass, this is the fourth week in a series. We're talking about mass incarceration in America. 1 in 4 of the people incarcerated in the world are in the United States. Nearly 40% are Black men. Black women are the fastest growing demographic. How do we reverse this mass incarceration, Renny Bass? You're the one who started this series. What's the deal?
Well, I think it's twofold. I think it's multifold, not twofold. I think it's multifold, but I echo off what the brother was just saying. He hit the nail on the head. He echoed everything that I would have said about that situation. So how we move forward, it's simple things, Don, and it's going to sound crazy when I start talking to people and when they hear it. I'm like, stop retweeting or reposting stuff that's out in our destruction. Stop reposting us, beating us, and bashing us. You know, these are simple things that we could do. You know, it's like the movement gets started with movement. And movement, it could just be simple things you can do as opposed to just challenging your thoughts to see brothers as allies and not foes. You know, if you just start in your mind, just start focusing on your mind. This is not an enemy of mine. This is an ally of mine. You know, it's simple things that we can get done, man. We don't have to really worry about changing the world. We really just got to worry about changing each individual of ourselves and helping each other change ourselves. See, that's the process. We can't just change on our own. We need the village to help us process and change ourselves, our mind, the way we think. Chasing the bag is chasing us off the cliff. We have to have a different mindset of thinking. And the systems that's in place, it's not just the prison, it's the system that's in place because we working like dogs. The money is going up, the work is going up, the money is coming down, and we're still working like crazy, and we're working like crazy to spend our money back into the economy that's doing it to us. So it's got to be a mental change in the way we're thinking for us to get something done on a mass level. Because we thinking crazy when we think about what we're doing. If you go to King of Pressure Mall, you see us in there spending the money. Where's the rationale in that? So we have to do a major rethinking. Imam Durrell Wainwright used to say, "Thesis Global, teaching people how to think, you know what I'm saying, is more difficult than teaching them how to fight, or teaching them how to eat, or teaching them how to dance." You know, but we have to take that challenge on of teaching people how to think and rethinking the way they're thinking, because we see as a community at large, it's not working.
Yeah. Character development. I agree. That's one of the biggest things that most religious houses are missing. Character development. Like, it's no character development. We always quick to push God and religion and ideology, but we never really big and building on character development. That's why it's so quicker for our children to hold a camera and record a fight instead of stepping in to break one up. It's character development, but we lack character development, bro. We really do.
And that's the basics. We get back to the basics, the core. You know what I'm saying? Go back to what grandma taught you. You know what I'm saying? Go to uncle who learned from grandma and ask him, what did grandma teach you? You know what I'm saying? Because it was a point in time in our history, and Donnie, you know, you old enough to know, it was a point in time in our history, man, where grandma had the answers. You could go to grandma, and grandma could straighten you right on out. She'll tell you. You know what I mean? This is what it is. This is what it's not. And when you don't have that stability, you don't have that as a person, you know what I'm saying? You got to come to the village. And the village got to be open to, you know what I mean, to receive that and to give it back to the person who needs it. So we got to learn how to think individually and collectively. You know,
Sean,
it has to be the village.
let's go online. Sean, any thoughts?
Yeah, like they saying, like rules and principles. Like we're not even teaching our kids what loyalty means, respect, honor, integrity. Like those words is like being lost now. Like tell a kid what's the definition of loyalty. They can't even tell you that. But they can, like you said, they can tell you everything about new dances, new this, anything on the internet. The internet ain't promoting morals and principles. Why is it so powerful to have morals and principles? Stand on your word and stuff like that. That's what grandma taught us. So, and your grandma, they not really teaching the kids that. Kids is, like I said last week, the kids is learning what they want to learn because they got the internet. They got everything in their hand on the phone.
Sean, we grew up in an era where your grandmother would put a plate of food on the table and say, "This is what you're eating."
Yeah.
Sean, today, people are asking 3-year-olds, "What do you want to eat?"
Man. Yeah.
You want Burger King? You want McDonald's? What do you asking a 3 and 4-year-old? What do you want to eat?
With that right there, I think that'll go back to like that's why we doing our youth like a disservice. Like we ain't had those options when we were little, so that's why we giving kids those options. Like we ain't had those options. Like so now they running with it. They're like, oh, what? Like once they start doing it early, so by the time they get 15 and 16, they like, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've been asking me so long, what do you want? Instead of telling me or laying a foundation for me, that's another disservice too.
Sean, did you get a ride? Did you get a ride going to school as a kid?
No.
Sean, you can drop these kids 6 blocks from home and they won't know where they at. We used to have to catch the bus, the number 13.
Right.
Or the 51. God forbid you got to go to Cherry Hill. You better know somebody out Cherry Hill. But these kids don't know how to catch the bus.
Yeah.
Right.
We got this brother on the line. His name. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you saying you had the brother on the line?
Yeah, it's your brother, Jihad. You want to say good morning? You got to wipe your lens a little bit, Jihad. You're a little fuzzy.
You look a little blurry. You look a little blurry there.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody this morning?
Alhamdulillah.
We good.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. What's the word, Jihad?
The word is continuing this path that we on. No, that's the word. Continuing prosperity.
I like it.
So Delmont, by the age of 8, they've already made a determination. But some things are happening too. You had mentioned, you had alluded to the drugs they give our hyperactive kids, especially, and I'm just gonna keep it 100, white female teachers. They come in, little black boy is aggressive. Right. Not a lot of black men in early education, in elementary education. So the white ladies, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Right. Send him to Kennedy Krieger. And then the kid, they put him on Ritalin. And let's just be honest, that's some pre-dope fiend stuff right there.
Absolutely. It's the gateway. And I don't even think he aggressive. I think that they be expressive, right? So I think that because people are not really aligned with our culture, it appears that we are aggressive, but really we not. We are really acting out in our actual nature. See, nowadays people take, and if you're doing anything outside of the norm, you're being aggressive, right? When really that's really our nature to be explorers, to challenge. We just have to know when to challenge, how to learn. When you get older, when I was growing up, you get older in my father's house, he tell you it can only be one ruler in my house. When you ready to start ruling, or he used to say, when you smelling yourself, then you can get out of my house because only one head in here. See, nowadays it's you got so much, and then it's no checks and balance. So a kid that come in, I mean a male that come into a kid house, he has no interest in the children, right? His only interest is in the mother, and she'll accept that. So the son moping around, he feel like he done been pushed to the side. So when he can't act out in the house because the guy in the house 3-4 times bigger than him, so he go to school and he act out. And instead of people trying to find out what is the core, why is you really acting out, we substitute it or try to diminish it with drugs, Ritalin, Thorazine, and all these different kind of little other that's supposed to dumb you down, so to speak, and it really actually dumbs you down, right? So now he moving slow, he start talking different, and then it's before long. Now he into something else, and you want to hide my kid. You don't need drugs, but really you initiated contact. You started feeding to him when you let somebody convince you that he was hyperactive, that he was out of control, that he was unruly. When you could have took that same energy, turned him over to the right man, and there's not a lot of right men in the neighborhood. We had good coaches, we had good recreation centers, people who were, was genuine uncles that was genuine about, caring about us and loving on us and guiding us and teaching us. You don't really have that so much. Everybody really trying to one up somebody. You know what I'm saying? So you trying to teach me just so you can say my father didn't. You know what I'm saying? So you can parade me around and show me off. So I think that we really have to get to the essence of what's really causing our children. I think one of the biggest root is that we really got to start watching and governing our children, what they listen to, what they eat, because it's like you are what you eat. Like you kids, they think they just giving these kids all these different foods and all this stuff, different foods and stuff being stuffed inside. I mean, different poison and stuff, chemicals inside these food, and they wondering why it's coming out the wrong way, kid acting crazy. So it affect every last one of us differently. So we got to start looking into these things, investigating these things, growing our own food, not allowing the kid to pick what they want, but feed them what we want them to eat. And it's hard because here it is, you got the grandmothers nowadays are right with the kids. You feel what I'm saying? They posting like the brothers coming, they posting to say they kid beat somebody up. They posting it. Look, girl, look, my son he just drugged somebody. She just drugged, as if it's cool. So they right with the kids. And these grandparents.
Marco, I saw this lady, she had to be about 50, and she was videotaping, had to be a 2-year-old to some hip hop.
Yeah, that's what's going on now, though. Like you said, we in a different era. So they is what's the word I want to use? They praising doing the wrong stuff or thinking things that's slick.
Marco, the strippers and the hookers don't know what to buy no more from the store.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
They don't know what outfits to wear no more.
That's why they ain't wearing nothing. You know what I mean? For real. Like, I think about that because I watch my mother sometimes when we together, and she sees some of the little young ladies and just shake her head how they don't have nothing on, and some of their bodies be a mess. But they think that that's the way to be. But it comes with a lot. Like it's just a different era. So, and a lot of things is being allowed as if that's the way to go, and without the guidance, without the because I want to touch back on the loyalty thing, right? A lot of young people, older people as well, they loyal to all the wrong stuff, and that's what's making others, especially the younger people, thinking that that's slick. And I say that because like when I grew up, we did have morals and principles older guys might not let you be around to do certain things, but it's a lot different now. But also, that's why a lot of people mindsets is the way they are because they've been taught all the wrong stuff. So, man, it's a lot of work that we got to do, because it's just so big out here on doing just all the wrong stuff, like this era that we got, social media, like everybody recording and the taping everything your whole life. You know what I mean? Like that's not something that we grew up with. People just putting their life on blast and thinking that that's the way to be, where there's no privacy or any of that. And that's allowing the kids nowadays to see more. They able to just get what they want. Like when I grew up, like ain't no you picking what you gonna eat. Like you gonna eat what's cooked, and or you ain't gonna eat, that type of thing. But now it's just so many options, I'm gonna say. And that's what's hurting a lot of things because the discipline as far as allowing these children, these young adults to choose so easily is not allowing them to be prepared for the real world, basically. You know what I mean?
Renny
I,
Bass, there was a
I,
time you went to Charlie Rudo's, you had 3 options: black, blue, and white. Y'all don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yo, Jack Purcell's was gonna be black, blue, or white.
Man, they were the good old days too, man. And listen, Don, you can get all 3 of them for $100. And listen,
Less
but let
than
me
a
just
hundred.
say this. Listen, let me say this. Never in history, right, has there ever been a time where a generation was responsible for itself. Ever in history.
They push that.
So this generation is not responsible for itself. And this is why I'm advocating for a village. We have to strengthen the men because the men are responsible for the village and the kids are responsible, the village are responsible for the kids. So we have to get back to a time and place where we strengthening our men. Our men have to have a place where they can come like a car and get tuned up, get right, get back ready, and go back to their position and take their rightful place. And also, Don, and let me say this about the data, about what they're saying about the 8-year-old. I don't believe the data. The data is because if you believe that data, you have to believe the same data to say that what they teaching, feeding them in school, shouldn't be feeding them. You know what I'm saying? So you had to believe that data. So the data, they'll twist the data up there, feed the data to us how they need it to be for us to accept it, how we need to accept it, to do what they want us to do. So what we have to do is understand, like the brother said, we have to watch our own kids. We have to know what's going on with them internally. But before we can do that, it's so many broken men. We need a system where the men can come back and get themselves together. And that's why we're bringing back positive impact. Positive impact is a place where men can come and get themselves together. Our goal and our objective is to build men so they can go out and go to programs and help programs to work. So we're in the process of getting that building, bringing that back. We have a strong alliance. The brothers are calling for it. This is, in my opinion, is nothing going to happen in our community until the men take their rightful place. And as long as the men are not in position to take their rightful place, the community will always be in chaos.
We have a lady watching the show, Natasha White. She's heavily involved in working with people behind the walls. One of the things she has brought attention to, she's from Brooklyn, New York, but she's here in Maryland, Virginia, is solitary confinement. How the system will subject someone to solitary confinement and then release them right back to the streets, straight out of solitary. Straight out of solitary, meaning you haven't debriefed this person, you haven't given them a chance to but you just throw them right back into society. And that could contribute to the 70% recidivism, the 70% of people that go right back into that environment. Any thoughts, Sean?
Yeah, like somebody can have 10 years. They done did 8 years on lockup. They ain't get no kind of training, no school, and no nothing. So their mindset is still stuck in that mindset. They ain't learned nothing. They ain't get no trades. They ain't They ain't had nobody around them to try to give them guidance. They just was in the cell. Only thing they was getting was they 1 hour a day. You might get a book here and there, but that's if your family members love you or they got faith in you or whatever. But they letting people go home with no money, no nothing. They ain't mandatory. You take financial literacy, job training. This is like, you should, like, once you got a year left, you need to go into a program where you won't get everything you need. That's like with the reentry program they got now. Reentry program should be mandatory for everybody that's being released from prison. Got somewhere to stay. You on your own. You'll get your own apartment. Get everything you need. So you're not going to somebody else's house. Because you know once you go to somebody's house, they only gonna give you like 2 months. And if you ain't got your stuff right in 2 months, if you still learning or trying to figure it out after 2 months, hey man, what's up? You gotta pay these bills, man. You ain't just gonna be lying up ahead. So, like that solitary confinement, just releasing people right back into society, it serves. And they wonder why, like, a lot of times, they comfortable. They're like, man, I might as well go back to jail.
But that's creating a savage by having somebody confined and then just re-enter them in society. You never know what their mental capacity is. You know, they haven't been around a population or interact with population. So you putting them back in society, that's just like letting a lion go after you have him confined for so long. His off of instinct, he going to react to anything that come in his presence to strike or to lash out. So you can't fault him for what y'all created while he was confined. No. So it's like Gu was saying, you got to be able to adjust his mindset before you put his physical being in the presence of a population or a mass of people. Everybody can't handle confinement and build something from it.
So Don, let me ask you this question: What is the cost for the state to house a prisoner for the year?
Was it like 40,000, 50,000,
Right. So
60,000?
Right. Right. So you look at that, and I think that answers all your questions that you're talking about. Why is this? This is why. Because any business want to make sure they have repeat business.
Yeah, I mean, in prison is big business. So speaking from a personal perspective, so I did 25 years, 5 months, 21 days. About 17 years of that time was spent in Supermax, Ultramax, behind the door, admin, out of state, in 3-4 different other states. So for me, and then when you talk about even people, and I couldn't read, couldn't write in the early years of my incarceration. So getting a book really didn't mean anything. So every time I hit the compound, I was on go time because it was like I had all that bottled up energy. Exactly. I'm young, I'm wild, and I had no direction. But see, I'm gonna take it further than even what the sisters say, because you have guys that I have been around that may have caught a charge, like say for instance, like assault on an officer, and got shipped into maybe North Branch with us, or shipped into the Baltimore City Supermax with us, and get ready to go home in 5 and 6 months, and they have no kind of reentry program, no kind of training. So you dump them back onto society, not just the prison population. How guy come out and he's so paranoid he can't really function in population because he haven't been around people. But when you dump a person back onto society with no resources, you know what I'm saying, with no avenues, with nobody to help them, and then you expect them to defend. You call him a deadbeat dad when he don't take his kid. Exactly. When he pick up the drugs and start hustling, he a criminal. So, man, you know, like I said, it goes all the way back to what Sam Greenlee said. He said it the best in the spook that's set by the door. They create the conditions that cause the crime, and then they use the crime to justify the conditions, right? So I think I do, and first of all, I would like to thank her, because she's probably one of the reasons why you can only get up to 90 days in segregation now. You know, I wrote in one of my books, the hostage book, how, you know, they was giving us 7 to 8 years. I got sent out of state before I came off lockup. So, and end up, then but that's a whole nother story. But nonetheless, so I commend her for that. But yeah, I think that it has to be programming. And if you look at the old segregations, when, you know, like they say like Black Panthers and stuff like that, it was no windows. There was a black hole, but now they got ventilation systems. They giving them tablets on lockup. They giving them phone. They roll the phones to your door. All this is what? Because they want you to be there for the long haul. It ain't. They not doing the things to do away with segregation. They doing things to make it more comfortable, just like they doing with the prison system. So it's all a part of the plan. Let's build. I guess like you went back to what Doni said from the beginning. It's a business now. It's $1 billion business. Everybody got their hand in the prison piggy bank.
All the way down to the phone company.
Everybody, yeah.
All the way down to the phone company. Listen,
why don't we get them?
We got a young lady with us. Natasha, you're not gonna show your face?
Come on, man. You ain't let me in the studio.
Y'all, this is Brooklyn. She's straight out of Brooklyn.
Let us meet your sister. Please.
Come on, man. They want to meet you, Natasha.
Early in the morning. It's early in the morning, okay? I'm on my first cup of coffee.
Say hi to Sean Gardner. He's on the line.
Hi, Sean. How are you?
How you doing this morning?
I'm trying to make it do what it do. Yeah, my name is Natasha White. I'm the director of community engagement at IHR. Currently, we had multiple bills in Virginia and DC. Virginia and Maryland. Unfortunately, Governor Youngkin vetoed our bill in Virginia, and Maryland acts like they don't know what's going on with their Department of Corrections, right? Just to be clear, you can't deny what happens to people in prison when it happens to them. So these multiple deaths, mysterious deaths, all of these suicides, solitary does nothing but exacerbate issues that people already have. Exactly. I did 15 years in prison in New York State, 4 of them in solitary, strictly because of who I was married to. So my brother did 26 years in Maryland. So I know what goes on. And the bottom line is it's not enough of us coming to the General Assembly. We're outnumbered by the sheriffs, and the bills don't even affect the local jails. It's just a circus. It's like a Ferris wheel of them saying they don't isolate people. Oh, so really 2 people locked in a cell together is worse than 1. At the end of the day, At the end of the day, 90 days is too long to isolate somebody and think there is no mental health, physical health repercussions for it. So it's up to us to take care of our own. I know who I left behind the wall. And I commend you, men, for today's episode. I logged on while I was trying to pay some bills. And I said, oh, my gang is on there. It's family time. Whenever those of us that have been directly impacted by the system get on a call, there's nothing but truth being served. So thank you for pulling me in. But I'm getting off camera because you see what I look like. Doni. Okay,
well, put a shout out for Victor Pate. I want them to know about the work that Victor Pate is doing in New York State. We do these Black Wall Street Awards, Sean, up and down the East Coast. And in New York City, Mr. Victor Pate is a brother from another mother. Tell them about Victor.
Victor is my mentor and was my first colleague. I actually started in New York. We got a bill passed that would limit the use of solitary to 15 days within a 60-day span. Now, of course, if you've been keeping up with what's going on, the Department of Corrections hates that. So they're all on strike to roll back the new law. However, it is the law. So if we can do it there, we can do it anywhere. We are part of, Victor and I are part of a 23-state national campaign called Unlock the Box. So we are in 23 states shutting down restrictive housing. I need you, brothers. That's why I put everything in the chat except for my social security number. I need you all to get in contact with me and help guide me in what goes on in your state. I'm not from Maryland. This summer,
we can hear that from we know you not from Maryland.
You act like you don't know I'm from Brooklyn. I stay arguing with you. I'm gonna shut it down. I know. On a serious note, I will be touring Maryland this summer, going to different communities, trying to get directly impacted people on the front line because we are the experts in this situation. I can truly also say that this type of work has saved my life because I would have went straight back to the block. You know, the effects that I have from solitary is I self-isolate. So it's impossible for me to work in an environment where there's a bunch of noise, a bunch of people. And
show them your best friend, Natasha. Where your best friend at?
I don't know where she's at. Leave her alone. She's upstairs. Before she starts barking, don't start.
No, I'm talking about the Pac-Man machine.
Oh, there she go.
She got a Pac-Man machine, Sean, in her room.
This is my office.
Nice with that.
Yeah, she got a Pac-Man machine. That's
This is
her
my
therapy.
office. But yeah, please. Everyone has I put my number in the chat. Please take it down. Reach out to me. I need you guys' help. I really
Hold on. Sean wanted to say something. Your website is interfaithactionhr.org. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, if you get a chance, if you want Instagram, you can reach out to BTW Mentors. That way we can connect, and BTW Mentors will never be willing to give you an insight what's going on in Maryland and how we work together.
Okay, what's that? Spell it out for us, Sean.
I see it on his shirt.
BTW Mentors. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Sean. Okay.
Gotcha.
And definitely look me up when you get here. Delmont Player. I'm gonna put my number in the chat for you right
now.
Yeah,
put your number in the chat. Delmont, what's that?
Marco, what you need, Marco?
How you put the number in the chat?
What's the website again?
It's interfaithactionhr.org.
There you go.
Oh, I got it.
She's good people and got a heart of gold. Renny.
Yes, sir.
Natasha got a heart of gold, man.
How do you put your number in the chat, though?
Put my number in the chat.
I'm trying to figure out how to do it.
Right, on the right side down the bottom. It says
chat.
Yeah, that's my number right there.
I don't see it. Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
You see the red mark on the right side?
My number is
okay. All right, I see it. I see it. Okay. All right, I got you. I'm gonna just send you my number when I get a chance because I don't know how to do it.
All right.
I'm still learning.
Make sure you spell your name correctly.
Okay.
Add it to contact. But I have a meeting in 15 minutes, and I'm still.
BK.
Okay. I love you, Donnie.
Love you.
Brooklyn Zoo, old dirty bastard.
Shame on you. All right. Good night, gentlemen. A rather good morning.
Renny, this is good. This is great work, Renny. This is something to be proud of. What you say, Sean? Yeah, she's an ally, man. She has educated me. A lot of us don't know about solitary.
Yeah.
But know somebody's been in a box and then drop right back into society. How are they gonna interact in the community? It's like, I watched the Navy SEALs. They got a debrief before they come back into population. They've been in a war zone.
Yeah. A mental war zone.
Yeah.
And physical.
I call it menacide. And then you gotta think with it, depending on what you went on lockup for, that's festering in your head the whole time you behind the door, especially if it was an incident where it was, assaults involved and stuff like that. That stuff is festering in your head. So you thinking people playing with your food, you thinking they playing with your mail, you can't talk to nobody. Now they make it lock up a little bit more luxurious, so to speak. But at one point it wasn't no phone, wasn't getting no phone, wasn't no tablet. You was getting none of that stuff. So it was just you in the cell with your own thoughts. And a lot, like the brother said, a lot of people can't live with themselves. That's why we go to sleep.
I read Sean out on the West Coast. They have where you can buy a cell. You can buy a luxury cell kind of sort of. Have you heard of that, Sean?
No, I ain't never heard of that. So like you get a lazy boy and all that in there.
Yeah. If you got the money.
So you can buy a single cell.
Yeah.
You got the flat screen.
Yes.
You get the flat frame in
yes.
Yeah.
Like it's Pablo. Big business.
It's all about money. It's all about money.
How much is a phone call?
$1 for 30 minutes.
Or 21 cents a minute in the Fed for 300 minutes.
Yeah.
15 minutes, 365.
But now they got the tablets, right? So the tablets, you people, they can put money on, they charge you 20 cents a text message. A message. Every message they send you is 20 cents. No matter how long the message is. Or I guess like 1,500 characters.
Yeah, 1,500 characters, right? Absolutely. Then you can buy TV time 30 days, $25.
That's early cell phone roaming numbers.
Yeah, listen, that's the hustle, the pictures, 20 cents a picture, $25 for 30 days of TV time. You can buy $10 for iHeartRadio. Oh yeah, they getting money all across the board. And then if you break the tablet, when some of them already come with a defect, that's another $250.
50.
And they make you take it. Like you can't even refute it. They tell you, no, you do that or you can't go to commissary or nothing like that. They got all the sense.
Oh no.
They the masters at the game. We still playing out here. But we buy right into it though, you know.
And it's there. Right. Buy right into it. Like, oh man, I got the tablet. So now you want to work all day now. The tablet stay on, as long as your tablet on, you can call. So they making about 10 million to making 100 million.
But a lot of times I look at some stuff like it's a gift and a curse, because you look at when we didn't have the tablets, it was a lot of assaults over like telephones because we just ignorant. Like us as a people, like we really like savages amongst ourselves. Like we create so much unnecessary division. I've seen one of the most beautiful things I've saw since I've been home the other day when we had the Eid breakfast and prayer with all men from different ethnicity groups, from different religions, all coming together to break bread like that. I love the unity when people can, because you know we can have unity, not unify, not being a unity, not laying down what you lay down, but coming as who you are and have unity. Like that's a beautiful thing, and we really got to get back to, like he talked about, that village, because I'm telling you, if we don't, we slaughtering ourselves out here. We just really are on so many levels. Educating them, we not teaching. That's why I always think about during COVID. One of the biggest things I used to hear when I was to call, because I was still locked up at the time, I would call home, and pretty much all the parents I would call would say this: man, I can't wait till these kids go back to school. Like they didn't even know how to educate their own children in the house. All they said, I can't wait till they go back to school. I said, we at now in front of the TV, and we ain't monitoring what they watching. Like we really got to get a handle on a lot of things, man, and it got to start with, like the brother said, like educating ourselves, like that character development of ourselves, and then each one really teach one. Like we got to get back to like loving on ourselves, loving on our people, loving on our kind, loving on the community.
Have y'all ever been involved with a woman who don't watch television?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to say they don't watch TV. They don't watch
Yes.
TV. I don't watch TV.
I don't watch TV now, and my queen don't. Yeah, she don't really watch TV. Too busy. And as a writer, when I sit down, I don't know if it's for everybody. I don't know, maybe Marco or maybe Sean. But as a writer, when I sit down and watch TV now, it's from a perspective where I be saying, man, I just wasted a whole hour. I can write this.
Ain't no question.
Like I'm a write this. You know, I done authored almost 10 books. I'm like, I'm writing this. Like I ain't keep sitting here watching. I'm gonna write this. So I don't watch a lot of TV because it's all the same. It take a lot for me to buy into a show.
There's a group of women, there are increasingly more women who don't watch television at all. And it causes a man to have to either up his game or find a woman who watches TV.
Right.
Yeah. Because water always, we look at women like water, synonymous to water. Water always seek its level, man. That's just what it is. Can't talk about TV, what's going on in the internet when you're talking to a woman that don't watch TV and can care nothing about it.
Right.
That's facts. Like, okay, well, you speak like you speak in Swahili. What? Like, let's talk about the future. Yeah, so yeah, I respect it.
Yeah, I think we also just gotta get more involved, like you said, in each other's lives, like family, your loved ones, because that separation what causes a lot of that stuff. People you don't even really know nobody. Like one of the things that bother me home since I've been home, like people don't even talk on the phone. They just text. I'm like, man, you gonna keep texting me? We just had a whole conversation, text back and forth. Call you, get this over with.
Pick up the damn phone.
Yeah.
I understand. Like, if you could text that much, you could call me and say this in 5 minutes. So it's like, it's just people gotta get more involved in each other, because
Yeah.
like the internet and all that stuff just took over, and it's okay as long as you use it right. You know what I mean?
Sean was saying make it more personal.
Like whenever I see
Right.
myself sitting down watching television, I just beat myself up. Like, man, I just wasted a whole hour. You know what I mean? Where I could have been doing something else productive, but everybody don't have that mindset. So
I tell you what, and I know Donnie can attest to this. You get them passports, man, and travel, go back to Africa. You learn a lot in them villages, man. And you can bring that back and bring them principles back home.
right. I can't.
Because, the elder, the baby boomers and the youth all get down together with everything. Ain't no separation.
Hey, Sean, I was in Tanzania, two things. Had to go to the bathroom. They pointed to this room. It had a hole in the ground. Hey, Sean, wasn't no toilet. It was just flies hovering over this hole in the ground. He said, that's the toilet. And then the other thing was, I got in this caravan because I was with these Seventh-day Adventists, and they ain't eat no meat. They were vegans. And it was about 4 or 5 days. I ain't had no chicken. I'm ready for some bird. So I get in this caravan, and there's about 12 people in there, Shard. And I'm from North Avenue, but I'm sitting next to a lady who got a live chicken in her lap. Sean, the chicken looked at me. I looked at the chicken.
Yeah, because I don't know.
It was quite an experience, Sean. All I know is I knew I had a better evening coming in that chicken because that chicken wasn't going to be alive.
That's
All
an
I'm saying is
experience.
we got electricity and running water and toilets, and a lot of people around the world don't.
Yeah. The luxury of just having a book. Like, yeah, man.
No, they not complaining. They happy. They were so happy for life.
Right.
Yeah, that's real. But it's real. I'm telling you, like, if you look at us in the city, like, even the kids, I told a little kid, like, about 3-4 days ago, I say, little brother, it was like over the weekend. I say, why you? He just walked past and he, like, looked so angry. And I stopped him. I say, little brother, I don't mean to be in your business, but can I ask you a question? Why are you so angry? He like, huh? I say, no, why are you angry? Like, I said, you pay bills? He like, no, I said, you got a job? I said, you got kids? I said, did you eat this morning? He like, yeah. I said, then what is you so angry for? But it's the family members pushing that on to them. Like kids nowadays they are burdened with so much that we wasn't burdened with. Like I'm quite sure my parents, my mother especially, went through things, but they didn't lay that on us the way how parents nowadays lay that on their children. Like I never heard my mother talk bad about my father. I never heard my mother complain about she just got up, she was up, and then I never even really seen my mother laying in bed. I called the house now and I'm like, where your mother at? 3 in the afternoon, she in the bed. The kids up, mom's in the bed. Like that was never a thing in my house. Like my mother was up before we was up and sleep. She didn't go to sleep till after we went to sleep. And I don't know when this woman slept, right? She made things work and made it so we didn't have no reason to be angry. Nowadays, kids, they gotta do so much. They like babies, they so burdened. And it shows up in their life, man, as misery. And we gotta make our babies, let them be babies again, man.
Sean, I gotta ask this $1 million question.
Yeah.
Do we need therapy?
Yeah. argument, but some like you gotta talk about it, you gotta write about it. Like it's all different ways to deal with what's going on, that's what's going on in your mind. And you gotta get it out one way or the other. Holding it in, it's like a time bomb ready to explode.
Ain't no. I want to say something on that, man, because I just had a situation yesterday at my job, and I was in tears that I responded the way that I did, and it led to me needing to talk to somebody to get some stuff out. Because coming from where I come from, I know I still got that up in me, and I was mad at myself that I allow an individual to get me, that upset. And pretty much had me match their energy, because I pretty much matched aggression with aggression, and not knowing that this person really got mental problems, and dealing with stuff or whatever at the same time. But that therapy, man, I know that serves and much needed. And like I said, I had the situation just yesterday where I almost cried because it could have just went so left. Although I tried to avoid it, the situation, and they still was coming towards me. It was like I was almost that far away from, turning my life around that fast. So it was like being able to talk to somebody about certain things that you're dealing with or may not even know that you're dealing with is very important.
Great share right there.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad you kept your cool.
But I would say that, we need therapy, but sometimes not in the traditional sense. Sometimes we need therapy from each other. That's like the brother said, you need somebody to talk to. So it don't have to necessarily be from a therapist. We can get therapy from each other. We can get therapy from just having conversations with each other, opening up and letting each other know what's going on in each other's lives. So I think the therapist, we can get therapists in the traditional sense, that's great. But therapy, it don't make no difference who the therapist is.
What matters is trust, because they
Absolutely.
can't be running their mouth.
Right.
Yeah, but it's certain things that just go without the conversation because everybody on this line understand what we understand. So certain things just go without no conversation.
Yeah, I do therapy every week faithfully. I love my therapist because that's the only time I can really talk freely. My brother asked me one day, say, man, you don't need no therapy. All the books and stuff you read, you got to. I say, listen, brother, all the trauma and stuff that I experienced when I was in prison, talking to a guy one night and coming out in the morning, he hung himself, right? Being beat by the police, having multiple assaults, being in all kind of different fights, all different kind of atmosphere, race riots in the feds and everything else. Like that stuff, you get numb to it. So when I came home, I realized that I needed to actually just somebody that I can actually just talk to that's unjudgmental. Because sometimes we talk to each other, we always looking, bruh, we trying to bust it down like how it worked for me. So sometimes you just need that person you can just talk and they just gonna listen and they ain't got no skin in the game. Because sometimes, and I love my brothers, but sometimes when you talk to your brothers, they got skin in the game. Right. And it's not always intentional. Sometimes it can be unintentional. So I think we need both of them. I think we need someone we can talk to with that trust, like Donnie was talking about. I think we need in conversations in rooms like this, where we can just iron sharpen iron. I think we need a person we can just talk and they just listen. You know what I'm saying? I think we need to write, like Gu was talking about, like write to yourself, because I do that too. I journal. At first I'm like, man, I'm not doing no journal. I'm not doing it. And then I realized how it's like writing a book. I can create the world the way how I want to write it. So when I journal, I can say whatever I want to say, and I ain't got to worry about nobody saying nothing back. So I think that sometimes we just need like a combination. But yes, therapy is very important, to say the least. Yeah, it's very important, and we all need it.
I'm glad we got it out there. Individual counseling, group counseling. I've been to 12-step meetings. We ain't supposed to say the name, but they say don't share it unless you're okay with it being shared. But I tell you something else I learned in the 12-step meetings. I thank God for them, especially 25 years ago when I was trying to lead them rocks, dopes, and cokes along.
Absolutely.
I learned that the little shit I went through was nothing. Compared to what some people went through. That's what I learned. Like, that's all you went through? Oh, that's bubble gum. This man over here, this sister, and the sisters on the ready
They get it
ride.
the worst. They get it the
Oh
worst.
my
You don't even know the
God.
sacrifices. Hey,
We had
Donnie,
no
listen.
idea.
You just made me think about something. One day I was at a convention in New York where people was being released about 8 months ago. And the guy stood up and said he did 52 years. And I'm telling you, he asked me how much time I did. I wouldn't even tell him. Because I felt like my 25 years was nothing. I ain't never even been to jail because, like you said, sometimes you realize you're not special. You're
Mm-hmm.
just not special, bro. That's what I tell the kids. When they're like, man, they saying something to me. I say, bro, you're not special. We say something. Anybody doing the same thing, I'm gonna say something to them. You're not special. I don't want you to feel special. I'm saying this to you because I would say to anybody else that walked through here doing the exact same thing. So don't feel like I'm picking you out. You're not special. And it's the same way when I meet people that did like his uncle Walt, like an angel to me. But I don't even talk about prison time when I'm around him because he did 39 years for something he did not do. I did 25 for something I did. You know what I'm saying? That's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that, and it humbles me because it's like, man, you're not special, bro. Like you ain't got no excuses, bro. So yeah, like you ain't special, bro.
Renny,
Believe that.
you gonna have to make a decision right now, big bro. Are we gonna continue this?
Absolutely. Ain't no decision to be made, bro. This is absolutely easy.
Sean, we
This
be
is
back
absolutely easy.
next Thursday, the same time, Sean. Sean, you got the final word. Still there, Sean? So, Renny, you go ahead and close this out. 9 a.m. next Thursday. I had a link to you.
Yeah, give thanks, man, for the series, for you, Donnie, for the platform, for the brothers. I learned a lot, you know what I'm saying? Listening to the brothers, man, was definitely inspiring. I hope people listening understand what we're trying to do, where we're coming from. We all been through some things, man, and we fight a jihad every single day within ourselves. So I go back to my point about the village, man. I think it's very important that we implement villages around the city and have these villages to work hard, man, to restore our people. And black men need to restore our, we guess a lot of black men do a lot of positive things. So we give thanks for that. We shout them out for all the great things they're doing. But we need to get to some brothers that's not and get them in position, man, and get them straight. So
okay, come on, Marco. We gotta figure. Come on, say something.
Oh man, I appreciate the invite. Like I said, I'm at work, but I'm still making it work. But man, we just gotta
At
keep
work,
pushing,
making it work.
man. That's what my workbook about that journaling. It's self-reflecting and journaling, and that's what that's for. To write things down and so forth to get stuff out that you normally don't talk about. So I encourage everybody to use their self-therapy, most importantly, because like I said, therapy is definitely very important for each and every one of us. And always reach out a helping hand for the next person, man.
Yes, sir. Delmont Player, you got your books with you, man?
Yeah, they got it. I got them in my truck. Yeah, I be having them with me. I'm gonna say this, something that one of my brothers said to me some years ago that I always like to regurgitate, so to speak. Oh yeah, okay, absolutely. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got my heck of mine's right here. That was one of my posters right there.
give thanks, bro. Give thanks, man.
Yeah, I say this: walk slow, think fast. That's something that one of my big brothers told me, and I regurgitate that. And what that means, I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now. What that means is that walk slow and think fast. So when you're moving, you can think your way through something before you walk into it. So if you're walking fast and you thinking slow, then when you stepped in it, it's already too late to think about it because now you're already in it, and then you got to find a way to get the way out of it. So that would be what I would leave everybody with. Walk slow, think fast.
Good deal.
That's what I would say.
Good deal. We'll be back next week at 9 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Good.
Yes,
Peace and
sir.
blessings.
Y'all.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Y'all have a nice one.
Good morning, world.
All right.